Dr. Minho Kim stood in the cold metal hallway of Harmony's Edge, watching alien delegates walk away from him. His hands shook as he held the datapad with Earth's first contact proposal. The meeting had gone very wrong. Wait, he called out too, the tall blue creature leading the group. Please, we can talk about this. The alien turned around. Its four eyes looked at Minho with disgust. Talk, your species is too weak for the Confederation. You come from a single planet. You have no real technology. You are nothing but soft meat. Minho's heart sank. He had worked 3 years to prepare for this moment. Earth's best scientists had created the perfect presentation. They had shown their medicine, their art, their desire for peace. But the aliens did not care. Humans are not weak, Minho said quietly. We survived ice ages. We built cities. We reached the stars. The blue alien laughed. Its voice sounded like breaking glass. You reached 1 star. We control thousands. Go back to your little world, human. Maybe in a few hundred years, you will be ready to speak with real civilizations. The other aliens laughed too. There was a green one with too many arms, a red one that looked like a giant spider, several others that Minho could not identify. They all seemed to agree that humans were worthless. I am Velther of the hegemony, the blue alien continued. Speak for the Confederation Council. Earth is rejected. Do not come back. Minho watched them walk toward their ships. 23 different species, all united in thinking humans were garbage. His life's work was falling apart, Dr. Kim, soft voice called behind him. He turned to see a young woman with kind eyes. She looked human, but something about her seemed different. Her skin was too pale, her movements too smooth. I am Nara Lee, she said. I work for the diplomatic services. I am sorry about what happened. Are you human? Minho asked. Half human, Nara replied. My mother was from Earth. My father was from Proxima Colony. I have been working here for 2 years, trying to help humans join the Confederation. Well, it did not work, Minho said bitterly. They think we are animals. Not all of them, Nara said. Some species want to give humans a chance. But Velthor has great power when he speaks. Others listen. Minho looked around the station. Harmony's Edge was supposed to be a neutral place where different species could meet safely. It was built like a giant wheel, spinning slowly in space. The outer ring had docking bays for ships. The middle ring had meeting rooms and offices. The inner ring had living quarters and research labs. What happens now? Minho asked. The Confederation. Ships will leave soon, Nara said. Your transport back to Earth is not coming for 3 days. We'll have to stay here until then. Minho nodded, felt very tired. All his dreams of bringing humanity into the galactic community were broken. He would have to go back to Earth and explain why he had failed. I will show you to your room, Nara said. Try to rest. Sometimes things look better after sleep. But as they walked through the station's corridors, alarms began to sound. Red lights flashed on the walls. A voice spoke from speakers in the ceiling. Emergency protocol activated. All personnel report to safe zones. Repeat, emergency protocol activated. What is happening? Minho asked. Nara's face went pale. I do not know. This has never happened before. People began running through the hallways. Some were humans, some were aliens from friendly species. Everyone looked scared. Come on, Nara said. We need to get to the central hub. They ran through the spinning corridors. The station shook around them. Minho could hear metal groaning and machines making strange noises. They reached a large room, where dozens of people were gathering. A tall man in a security uniform was trying to keep everyone calm. I am Commander Jiwoo Park, he announced. We have a problem in the biocontainment sector. Someone has damaged the security systems. The emergency protocols are starting to lock down different sections of the station. What kind of problem? Someone asked. The containment fields are failing, Park replied. We have several dangerous creatures in that sector. If they get out, he did not need to finish. Everyone knew that Harmony's Edge was used to study dangerous life forms from across the galaxy. The most dangerous ones were kept in the biocontainment sector, behind multiple layers of security. The lockdown will protect us, Park continued. But anyone still in the outer sectors will be trapped until we can fix the systems. Minho felt a cold fear in his chest. Which sectors are being locked down? Sections 7 through 12, Park said, in the biotainment area. Nara grabbed Minho's arm. Your room is in Section 9. That means I would have been trapped, Minho said. Yes, Park said. But you are here now, so you are safe. But as Park spoke, the lights went out. Emergency power kicked in, bathing everything in red light. The station shook again, harder this time. Commander, a voice called from across the room. The main computer is showing massive system failures. Lockdown is happening too fast. It is not following proper protocols. Park's face went white. Show me. The technician brought over a portable screen. Park looked at it and cursed under his breath. What is it? Nara asked. The lockdown is random, Park said. The computer is sealing sections without checking if people are inside and ... He paused, looking at the screen again. The biocontainment field around Cell 7 has failed. Completely. What is in Cell 7? Minho asked. Park looked at him with fear in his eyes. Krathmer, the apex predator from Karis Prime. The creature that killed 17 handlers before we managed to capture it. The room went silent. Everyone knew about Krathmer. It was the most dangerous creature in the galaxy. Nothing could control it. Nothing could kill it. But the other containment fields are still working, right? Someone asked. Park shook his head. The screen shows all containment fields in that sector are failing. But that is not the worst part. What could be worse? Nara whispered. A computer. Just sealed the biocontainment sector, Park said. And according to the life sign readings, someone is trapped inside with Krathmar. The room erupted in panicked voices. But Minho felt something cold settle in his stomach. Who is trapped? He asked quietly. Park looked at his screen. His face went completely pale, according to the ID scanner. It is Dr. Minho Kim. Everyone turned to look at Minho, but he was not there. In the confusion of the lockdown, the real Dr. Minho Kim had been caught in Section 9, which connected directly to the biocontainment area. Nara ran to the viewing screen that showed the biocontainment sector through the grainy security camera. She could see a figure in a white lab coat standing in a large room, and moving toward him from the shadows was something that made her blood freeze. Krathmer was free, and Dr. Minho Kim was alone with the most dangerous creature in the galaxy. 3 days passed without any word from the biocontainment sector. Commander Jiwoo Park stood in the control room, staring at the dead screens. The security cameras had stopped working after the first day. The life sign monitors showed nothing. The communication systems were broken. He has to be dead, said Dr. Sujin Yoon, the station's head scientist. No one can survive 3 days with Krathmer. That creature is pure death. Nara Lee sat in the corner, her face pale and tired. She had not slept since the lockdown began. We should have tried harder to get him out. How? Park asked. Blast doors are sealed tight. Computer will not respond to our commands. We cannot even get close to that sector. What about the emergency override? Nara asked. Broken, Park replied. Everything is broken. It is like someone wanted to make sure we could not help him. Dr. Yoon looked at her data pad. I have been studying Krathmar's behavior patterns. In every encounter, it killed within minutes. The creature is 8 feet tall, weighs 600 pounds, and has claws that can cut through steel. Its skin is harder than most armor, and it hates all living things. Maybe Dr. Kim found a place to hide, Nara said hopefully. Where? Dr. Yoon asked. The biocontainment sector is one big room. There is nowhere to hide. The creature would have found him in seconds. Park rubbed his tired eyes. I have to write the report. Earth Command will want to know what happened to their scientist. Will you tell them? Nara asked. The truth, Park said. Dr. Minho Kim died in a system failure. He was killed by an apex predator. His body cannot be recovered until we fix the containment systems. But as Park spoke, a technician ran into the room. Commander, the blast doors are opening. Everyone rushed to the main screen. The heavy metal doors that sealed the biocontainment sector were slowly sliding apart. Red warning lights flashed as the computer announced the end of emergency lockdown. "How is this possible?" Dr. Yoon asked. "I do not know," Park said. "The computer has been dead for 3 days. Now suddenly it works again." "Look," Nara pointed. At the screen, through the opening doors, they could see into the biocontainment sector. It was a large room with white walls and a high ceiling. There were broken pieces of containment equipment scattered around the floor. And there, sitting calmly in the center of the room, was Dr. Minho Kim. He was alive. "How is this possible?" Dr. Yoon whispered. But that was not the most shocking thing. Next to Dr. Kim, lying on the floor like a giant pet, was Krathmer. The apex predator was resting quietly, its massive head near Kim's feet. "This cannot be real," Park said. "This has to be some kind of trick." "Should we go in?" asked a security guard. "No," Park said quickly. "Send in the robots first. We need to see what is happening." They sent in 3 security robots. The machines rolled in too. The biocontainment sector, their cameras showing everything on the main screen. Dr. Kim looked up and waved at the robots. He seemed calm and unafraid. Krathmer opened one massive eye and looked at the robots. But instead of attacking, the creature just watched them with what seemed like curiosity. "This is impossible," Dr. Yoon said again. "Krathmer kills everything. That moves. Why is it not attacking the robots?" "Maybe it is sick," suggested a technician. "Or maybe it is waiting," Park said. "These creatures are smart. It might be planning something." They watched for an hour. Dr. Kim stood up and walked around the room. Krathmer followed him with its eyes but did not move. When Kim sat down again, the creature moved closer to him. "It is like they are friends," Nara said in amazement. "Friends?" Dr. Yoon laughed. "That thing is a killing machine. It has murdered 17 trained handlers. It cannot be friends with anyone." "Then how do you explain this?" Nara asked. Dr. Yoon had no answer. Finally, Park made a decision. "I am going in. We need to get Dr. Kim out of there." "Commander, no," Dr. Yoon said. "It is too dangerous." "He has been in there for 3 days," Park replied. "If Krathmer wanted to kill him, it would have done so already. Something else is happening here." Park put on protective armor and took a weapon. He walked slowly into the biocontainment sector. His heart was beating fast, but he kept moving forward. Dr. Kim saw him coming and stood up. "Commander Park." "I'm glad to see you, Dr. Kim," Park said carefully. "Are you hurt?" "No, I am fine," Kim replied. "Better than fine, actually. I have made a discovery." Krathmer lifted its massive head and looked at Park. The creature's eyes were intelligent and alert, but it made no move to attack. "Of discovery?" Park asked. Kim smiled. "Krathmer is not what everyone thinks. It is not a mindless killer. It is intelligent. It has been trying to communicate." "Communicate?" Park could not believe what he was hearing. "Yes," Kim said. "For 3 days we have been learning about each other. It has been showing me things, memories, pictures in its mind." Dr. Kim Park said gently, "You have been trapped in here for 3 days. You might be having hallucinations." "No," Kim said firmly. "Watch this." He made a gesture with his hands. Krathmer immediately responded by making a low sound in its throat. It was not a roar or a growl. It was almost like singing. "How did you do that?" Park asked. "I studied Earth's predators for 20 years, Kim explained. Lions, tigers, sharks, bears. All of them were called monsters until we learned to understand them. Krathmer is the same. It was scared and alone. It attacked because it did not understand what was happening to it." Kim walked closer to the creature. Krathmer made the singing sound again. "It is trying to tell us something important," Kim said. "Something about its home world. Something about what happened to its people." "Its people?" Park asked. "Yes," Kim said. "Krathmer is not just an animal. It is a person. A member of an intelligent species. And I think its people are in terrible danger." Back in the control room, everyone was watching in amazement. Dr. Yoon was studying the video feed, trying to understand what she was seeing. "This changes everything," she said quietly. "What do you mean?" Nara asked. "If Dr. Kim is right, if Krathmer is intelligent, Then we have been treating a sentient being like a laboratory animal. We have been torturing it. But it killed 17 people, someone said. Maybe it was defending itself, Nara replied. Maybe it was trying to escape. On the screen, they watched Dr. Kim sit down next to Krathmer. The creature gently placed its massive head on Kim's lap. It looked peaceful, almost happy. How did he do it? Park asked through his communicator. He showed it kindness, Kim replied. He treated it like a person instead of a monster. And slowly, Krathmar began to trust him. What happens now? Park asked. Now, Kim said, we need to listen to what Krathmar has to say, because I think it has been trying to warn us about something that could threaten the entire galaxy. In the control room, Nara felt a chill run down her spine. She remembered. The way Velthor had looked at humans. It's the same way people had looked at crap. It's more disgust. Maybe humans and Krathmar were not so different after all. Maybe they were both misunderstood. Admiral Hyin Cho arrived at Harmony's Edge with a full investigation team. Ship docked at the station with a loud clang that echoed through the corridors. The Admiral was a tall man with hard eyes and a voice that could freeze water. Where is this human who claims to talk with monsters? He demanded as he walked into the control room. Commander Park stepped forward. Admiral Dr. Kim is in the biotainment sector with Krathmar. They have been together for 5 days now. 5 days? Admiral Cho's face turned red. And you have done nothing to separate them? That creature is the most dangerous thing in the galaxy. Sir, with respect, Park said carefully, Dr. Kim seems to be in no danger. In fact, he has made remarkable progress in communicating with the creature. Communicating? The Admiral laughed coldly. Humans think they can talk to anything. Next you will tell me it wants to be friends. Dr. Sujin Yoon stepped forward. With her datapad, Admiral, we have been studying the interactions between Dr. Kim and Krathmar. What we have discovered is... extraordinary. Show me, the Admiral ordered. They walked to the viewing window that looked into the biotantainment. Sector Dr. Kim was sitting on the floor drawing pictures on a piece of paper. Krathmar was watching carefully, making soft sounds as Kim worked. What is he doing? Admiral Cho asked. Learning, Dr. Yoon replied. Dr. Kim discovered that Krathmar can share memories through mental images. The creature has been showing him things from its past. What kind of things? Cities. Kim's voice came through the communication system. Beautiful cities made of crystal and light. Advanced technology, art and music. A whole civilization. Admiral Cho frowned. That is impossible. Krathmar comes from Karis Prime, a death world with no intelligent life. That is what we thought, Dr. Yoon said. But Dr. Kim's findings suggest otherwise. On the screen they watched Kim hold up his drawing. It showed tall buildings reaching toward the sky, with strange symbols carved into their sides. Krathmar made an excited sound and touched the paper gently with one massive claw. Krathmar recognizes these buildings, Kim explained. They are from its home, but not the Karis Prime we know today. This is from long ago when its people still lived there. Its people? Admiral Cho asked. You mean there were more of these? Creatures? Millions, Kim said. Krathmar species built a great empire across many star systems. They were artists, scientists, and explorers. They called themselves the Morkith. The Admiral's face went pale. The Morkith are extinct. They disappeared over 3,000 years ago. They did not disappear, Kim said quietly. They were hunted. A long silence filled the room. Finally, Admiral Cho spoke. Hunted by whom?
Avi.
By the species that founded the Confederation, Kim replied. The same ones who rejected humanity yesterday? Dr. Yoon looked at her datapad with shaking hands. Admiral, I have been cross-referencing historical records. The timeline matches. The Morkith Empire fell exactly when the Confederation was formed. That is just coincidence, Admiral Cho said, but his voice lacked conviction. Kim asked. Krathmar has been showing me memories passed down through generations. Memories of great ships filling the sky, cities burning, of its people being hunted across the galaxy. Even if this is true, Admiral Cho said, it was 3,000 years ago. What does it matter now? Kim stood up and walked to the viewing window. His eyes were sad, but determined. Because Krathmer is not the only survivor. There are others, hidden throughout the galaxy. They are all being kept as prisoners, labeled as monsters. What do you mean, Nara? Lee asked. She had been quiet. Until now, but Kim's words made her heart race. Every creature in the biocontainment facilities across Confederation space, Kim explained. They are not random monsters. They are survivors of species that were wiped out by the Confederation's founders. Dr. Yoon began typing rapidly on her datapad. I am checking the genetic records of all contained creatures. Oh my stars. Kim is right. Every single one shows signs of advanced intelligence, but their files list them as mindless beasts. This is impossible, Admiral Cho said. The Confederation Council would never allow such a thing. The current council might not know. Kim said, but someone does. Someone has been working very hard to keep these survivors hidden and silent. As if responding to Kim's words, Krathmer made a long, mournful sound. It was not the singing they had heard before. This was deeper, sadder. It was the sound of grief. Is mourning, Kim said softly, not just for its own people, but for all the lost species. All the civilizations that were destroyed. Suddenly, alarms began to sound throughout the station. Red lights flashed on the walls. A voice spoke from the ceiling speakers. Attention, all personnel. This is Velthar of the Hegemony. By order of the Confederation Council, this station is now under military control. All research must stop immediately. Admiral. Cho grabbed his communicator. This is Admiral Cho. I am the ranking officer here. What is the meaning of this? Velthar's voice came back cold and threatening. Admiral, you and your people have interfered with classified operations. Dr. Kim and the creature must be transferred to our custody immediately. On what authority? Admiral Cho demanded. Authority of the Confederation Security Council, Velthar replied. Any species that threatens galactic peace must be contained. Kim pressed his hand against the viewing window. They are not coming to study Krathmar. They are coming to kill it, and me. Like, why would they do that? Park asked. Because we know the truth, Kim said, and the truth is dangerous to them. Dr. Yoon looked at her datapad again. I am reading massive energy signatures approaching the station. At least 12 ships. All heavily armed. Can we defend ourselves? Nara asked. Against 12 ships? Admiral Cho shook his head. We have no weapons. This is a research station. Kim looked at Krathmer, who was now standing and making low warning sounds. It knows they are coming. It has been through this before. What do you mean? Dr. Yoon asked. The 17 handlers that Krathmer supposedly killed, Kim explained. They were not killed in random attacks. Were killed because they were getting too close to the truth. You mean Krathmer was defending itself? Yes, Kim said. Every time someone began to understand what it really was, the Confederation sent new handlers. Handlers who were secretly ordered to eliminate the problem. Admiral Cho felt sick. Are you saying the Confederation has been murdering its own people? It's not the real Confederation, Kim said. But there is a secret group within it. Group. That has been hiding the truth about the genocide for 3,000 years. The station shook as the first ships docked. They could hear the sound of metal boots marching through the corridors. They are coming, Park said. Kim looked at his new friend. Krathmer was no longer the terrifying monster everyone thought it was. It was a survivor, carrying the memories of an entire lost civilization. We have to protect it, Kim said. Have to protect all of them? How? Nara asked. We are just a few people against the entire Confederation. Kim smiled grimly. Not the entire Confederation, just the corrupt part. I think there are more good people than bad ones. What do? You want us to do? Admiral Cho asked. Get word to Earth, Kim said, what we found. And send messages to every species in the galaxy. Tell them the truth about what happened to the Morkith, and about what is happening to other survivors. They will never believe us, Dr. Yoon said. They will if we have proof, Kim replied. And we do. Krathmer is not just a survivor. It is a living library of everything that was lost. The marching footsteps were getting closer. Veltor's voice came over the speakers again. Dr. Kim, you have 60 seconds to surrender yourself and the creature. If you do not comply, We will take you by force. Kim looked at his friends through the window. Promise me something. If they take us, do not let them erase what we found. The galaxy needs to know the truth. We promise, Admiral Cho, said Kim. Turned to Krathmer and spoke in the gentle tone he had learned to use. The creature responded with its singing sound, but this time it was different. This time it sounded like hope. The blast doors began to open. Armed soldiers poured into the biocontainment sector. But as they raised their weapons, something unexpected happened. Krathmer did not attack. Instead, it began to glow with a soft, blue light. And in that light, everyone could see images, memories, the truth about what had really happened 3,000 years ago. The soldiers stopped in amazement. Even Velthor, who had come to destroy the evidence, found himself staring at the beautiful cities and peaceful people that had once existed. And in that moment, Kim realized that Krathmer had been waiting for this opportunity all along, not to fight, but to show the galaxy what it had lost. The revolution had begun. The glowing images from Krathmer's memories filled the biocontainment sector. Even Velthar's soldiers stopped moving, staring at the beautiful cities and peaceful people that floated in the blue light. Turn off your weapons, Velthar ordered. His soldiers cannot destroy the evidence if everyone can see it, but it was too late. The station's communication systems were broadcasting everything. Across the galaxy, people were watching the truth unfold on their screens. Dr. Kim stood next to Krathmer, his hand on the creature's massive arm. The whole galaxy is watching now. They can see what really happened to the Morkith. This changes nothing, Velthor said, but his voice was shaking. Ancient history cannot threaten the present, can when the same people are still in power. Kim replied, when the same crimes are still being committed. Admiral Cho spoke into his communicator. All stations, this is Admiral Cho. Record everything. Send copies to every world in the Confederation. The people need to know the truth. Velthar raised his weapon. Enough. The creature and the human will come with us. The rest of you will be tried for treason. But before he could fire, something unexpected happened. The station's blast doors began opening and closing rapidly. Alarms sounded everywhere. Lights flickered on and off. What is happening? One of the soldiers asked. Nara Lee was standing at a control panel, her fingers flying over the buttons. I am sending emergency signals to every ship in the area. I am locking down all the docking bays. Stop her, Velthor ordered. But as his soldiers moved toward Nara, more alarms began to sound. This time they were not from the station. They were from Velthor's ships. Sir, a voice came over his communicator. We are detecting massive energy signatures. Approaching. At least 30 ships, all flying Earth flags. Velthar's face went pale. That is impossible. Earth has no fleet. They do now, Admiral Cho said with a smile. Did you think we would come here without backup? Through the viewing windows, they could see ships dropping out of hyperspace. They were sleek and fast, with the blue and white colors of Earth painted on their hulls. This is Captain Daho's song of the Earth Defense Force. A voice came over. The station's speakers. Any hostile action against Dr. Kim or the creature will be considered an act of war. Velthor laughed nervously. Your primitive ships cannot threaten us. We have the most advanced weapons in the galaxy. Do you? Captain Song replied, because our sensors are showing that your ships are having some technical problems. Velthor grabbed his communicator. Fleet Command, report. Sir, our weapon systems are offline, came the panicked reply. Something is interfering with our computers. We cannot target anything. How is this possible? Velthor demanded. Dr. Kim smiled. Because humans are not the only ones you have. Underestimated. Show him, Krathmer. The creature made its singing sound again. But this time, the sound was different. It was deeper, more complex. And somehow, it was affecting the electronic systems throughout the area. Krathmer's people were not just artists and scientists, Kim explained. They were masters of technology that works with living minds, technology that your people could never understand. The creature is disabling our ships, Velthor asked. In amazement, not just your ships, Kim said. It is calling to others like itself. As if responding to Kim's words, new alarms began to sound. But these were not from the station or the ships. These were from the biotainment facilities. Across the galaxy, "Sir," Dr. Yoon said, reading from her datapad, "I am getting reports from 17 different stations. The contained creatures are all responding to something. They are ... singing out." The sound was incredible. Out across dozens of worlds, creatures that had been silent for years were suddenly making music together. It was sad and beautiful and full of hope. "They are talking to each other," Kim said in wonder. "After thousands of years, they are talking to each other again. This is madness," Velthor said. "Those creatures are dangerous. They must be contained." "Why?" Kim asked. "Because they remember what you did to them. Because they can tell the truth about your crimes. Confederation Council will never allow this," Velthor threatened. "They will send the entire fleet to stop you." "Will they?" Admiral Cho asked. "Because I am getting reports from across the galaxy. The people are watching. They are seeing the truth, and they are angry." On worlds throughout the Confederation, people were gathering in the streets. They were watching the broadcasts from Harmony's Edge. They were seeing the beautiful memories of the Morketh civilization. And they were learning about the genocide that had been hidden for 3,000 years. "The people are demanding answers," Dr. Yoon reported. "Are calling for investigations. Some species are threatening to leave the Confederation." "This is what you wanted, is it not?" Kim asked Velthor. "To keep everyone afraid and divided? To make sure no one could challenge your power? We brought peace to the galaxy," Velthor said desperately. "We ended the chaos of the old empires." "You brought fear," Kim replied. "You taught everyone that being different was dangerous, that anyone who did not fit your idea of normal was a monster. Just like they did to humans," Nara added. "Just like they are doing to these survivors." Captain Song's voice came over the speakers again. "Dr. Kim, we have a secure transport ready. We can get you and your friend to safety." "No," Kim said firmly. "We are not running. We are going to every biocontainment facility in the galaxy. We are going to free every survivor. We are going to let them tell their stories." "You cannot," Velthor said. "It would destroy everything we have built," Kim replied. "Because what you built was founded on lies and murder." Krathmer made its singing sound again. And this time, the other creatures across the galaxy answered. Their voices joined together in a song of memory and loss and hope. "They are organizing," Dr. Yoon said in amazement. "The creatures are coordinating their responses. It is like they are planning something." "They are," Kim said. "They are planning to come home." "Home?" Admiral Cho asked. "To the worlds that were taken from them," Kim explained. "To the places where their people once lived. They want to rebuild." "We will stop them," Velthor said. "With what?" Kim asked. "Your weapons do not work anymore. Your ships are disabled. And the people of the galaxy are watching everything you do. We have other resources," Velthor said darkly. "Other ways to deal with threats." "Then you will have to deal with us too," Captain Song said. "Because Earth stands with Dr. Kim and the survivors, and so do we," came another voice over the speakers.
Ow.
It was a delegation from one of the younger species in the Confederation. "We have seen the truth. We will not let you commit genocide." Again, more voices joined in. Species after species declared their support for the survivors. The galaxy was choosing sides. "This is not over," Velthor said as he backed toward the exit. "The Council will never allow this rebellion to succeed." "Maybe it is time for a new council," Kim said. "One that represents all the people of the galaxy, not just the ones who won an ancient war." As Velthor and his soldiers left the station, Kim looked at his friend Krathmer. The creature was still glowing with soft blue light, sharing its memories. "With anyone who would listen." "Are you ready for this?" Kim asked. "Are you ready to show the galaxy who you really are?" Krathmer made its singing sound one more time. But now, it was not sad or mournful. It was determined. It was the sound of someone who had been silent for too long and was finally ready to speak. "Then let us go," Kim said. "Let us wake up the galaxy." The revolution was spreading. And at its heart was a human who had learned to see past appearances, a creature who had never stopped believing in justice. Together, they would change everything. 6 months after the incident at Harmony's Edge, the Grand Assembly of the Confederation met for the most important session in galactic history. The massive chamber on Nexus Prime could hold representatives from 1,000 worlds. Today it was completely full. Dr. Minho Kim walked into the chamber with Krathmer beside him. The creature no longer wore restraints or shock collars. Instead, it wore the ceremonial robes of its people, found in ancient archives that had been hidden for thousands of years. Behind them came dozens of other survivors. Creatures that had been called monsters were now revealed as artists, scientists, and philosophers. Each one represented a civilization that had been destroyed by the Confederation's founders. "The session will come to order," announced General Taman Co., Earth's military commander, who now served as temporary chairman of the Assembly. "Today we will hear the truth about our galaxy's history." In the front rows sat the old Confederation. Council Velthor was there, his blue skin pale with fear. Next to him were the leaders of the other founding species, all looking uncomfortable and afraid. "We object to this proceeding," Velthor said, standing up. "These creatures are dangerous. They should not be allowed in civilized space." "Sit down," General Co ordered. "You'll have your chance to speak. But first, the galaxy will hear from those you tried to silence." Dr. Kim stepped forward to the speaking platform. The chamber fell silent as he began to talk. 6 months ago, I was trapped with what I thought was a monster," he said. "I learned that the real monsters were not the ones in cages. They were the ones who put them there." He gestured to Krathmer, who moved to the center of the chamber. The creature began to glow with the same blue light they had seen before. But this time, the images were clearer and more detailed. The entire chamber gasped as they saw the memories of the Morkith civilization. Beautiful cities reaching toward the stars, art, and music that made the heart sing. Technology that worked. In harmony with nature, this is what was destroyed, Kim said. Not just buildings and machines, but entire ways of thinking, entire approaches to life that could have benefited everyone. The images changed, showing the arrival of the Confederation fleets, the burning cities, the desperate attempts to escape, the systematic hunting of survivors. "We did what was necessary," Velthor called out. "The old empires were chaotic. They were dangerous to galactic peace." "Dangerous to your power," Kim replied. "You were afraid of anyone who might challenge your authority." President Yunhai Bay of Earth stood up from her seat. "We have evidence of what really happened. Documents recovered from secret archives. Records that prove this was not a war for peace. It was genocide for profit." She activated a holographic display that showed shipping records, resource allocations, and territorial divisions. The founders of the Confederation divided the wealth of the destroyed civilizations among themselves, became rich from murder. "These are lies," protested another council member, a red creature with multiple arms. "We brought order to chaos." Then, "Explain this," said Dr. Sujin Yoon, who had been studying the recovered records. "Explain why every dangerous species just happened to live on worlds rich in rare minerals. Explain why every monster in your prisons comes from a different destroyed civilization." She showed more evidence. Maps of destroyed worlds, lists of their resources, plans for how to divide the wealth. It was all there, hidden for 3,000 years, but never destroyed. "The galaxy trusted you, Kim," said to the old council. "They believed your stories about bringing peace, but you brought fear instead. You taught everyone that being different was dangerous." Krathmer made its singing sound, and the other survivors joined in. Their voices filled the chamber with a song of loss and hope. Many of the assembly members had tears in their eyes. "What do you want from us?" Velthor asked desperately. "The past cannot be changed." "No," Kim agreed, "but the future can be." He walked to where a young creature stood with the other survivors. It looked like a combination of a bird and a lizard, with beautiful purple scales that shimmered in the light. "This is Nishara," Kim said, "the last survivor of the Velanash people. Do you know what happened to her world?" Velthor's face went even paler. That was different. The Velanash were truly dangerous. The Velanash were artists. Kim said they painted with light itself. They could create pictures in the air that moved and danced, but their world had deposits of quantum crystals that you wanted for your weapons. Nishara began to sing in her own language. She sang. Colors filled the air around her, beautiful patterns of light that told the story of her people. The chamber watched in amazement as the art form of an entire civilization came to life. You called this dangerous, Kim said. Destroyed an entire species because you were afraid. Of their beauty, we made mistakes, Velthor admitted. But that was long ago. We have changed. Have you? Kim asked. Because 6 months ago, you tried to kill me and Krathmer to hide the truth. You were willing to commit murder to protect your secrets. What do you want us to do? Asked another council member. Kim looked around the chamber at all the representatives. From different worlds, young species and old ones, peaceful traders and proud warriors. All of them were watching and waiting. Kim said simply. What? Velthor asked. Kneel before the survivors, Kim repeated. Admit what you did, ask for forgiveness, and then step down from power so the galaxy can heal. We will never kneel to monsters, Velthor said angrily. Then you prove that you have learned nothing, Kim replied. Krathmer stepped forward and began to project new memories. These were not from the distant past. These were from the last 6 months. Images of the survivors helping to rebuild damaged stations, of creatures once called monsters working alongside other species to solve problems, of art and music and science being shared freely. Look at what they have accomplished in just 6 months, Kim said. Look at what they have given back to the galaxy, and then tell me who the real monsters are. The chamber was silent for a long moment. Then slowly, a young representative from one of the newer species stood up. She walked to where the survivors were standing and knelt down. I am sorry, she said. I am sorry for what was done to you. Another representative joined her. Then another. Soon, dozens of delegates were kneeling before the survivors, asking forgiveness for crimes they had not committed but had allowed to continue. Finally, even some of the older species began to stand. They looked at their leaders with disgust and shame. Enough, said one of them. I will not follow leaders who built their power on lies and murder. One by one, the old council members found themselves alone as their own people turned away from them. Even Velthor's own delegation stood up and walked away. This is not over, Velthor said as he backed toward the exit. Yes, it is, Kim replied. Your time is finished. This galaxy belongs to everyone now. As Velthor and the remaining old council members left the chamber, the survivors began to sing again. But this time their song was not one of loss. It was one of hope. General Ko stepped forward. Confederation Council is dissolved. In its place, we will form a new government. One that represents all species equally. One that values diversity. Instead of fearing it, President Bay joined him. Humans will do everything we can to help the survivors rebuild what was lost. Kim looked at Krathmar, who was glowing softly with contentment. What will you do now? He asked his friend. Krathmar made its singing sound and projected one final image. It showed the dead world of Karis Prime slowly coming back to life. Cities being rebuilt, gardens growing in the wasteland, children playing where there had once been only death. Home, Kim said, understanding. You want to go home? The creature nodded and touched Kim's hand gently with one massive claw. Then, we will help you, Kim promised. All of you will help you reclaim what was taken. As the assembly session ended and the delegates began to leave, Kim stood with the survivors in the center of the chamber. They were no longer prisoners or monsters. They were free people with hope for the future. And it had all started because one human had refused to see a creature as a monster, because he had chosen to show kindness instead of fear. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly what it needed. The apex predators were going home, and they were taking their human friend with them.